What's up, everyone? Morey here with the Performance Lab of California. We're going to do another breakdown here today on Cristiano Ronaldo. I actually got a guy that reached out and said, hey, it'd be nice if you did some breakdowns on some soccer athletes. And I thought, that's actually a good idea. Maybe add in some more guys. We've done some combine, some NFL guys. So why not do some soccer or, I guess, football as well? So Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the fastest guys in all of sports and at least all in soccer for sure. I mean, he's just has unbelievable speed, one of the best players as well. Had to do a breakdown with him just because he stands out as a guy that, we can learn some from. Now, what's very interesting about this breakdown is it doesn't have to do only with sprint mechanics. It has to do with sprint mechanics in terms of how it applies to sport, right? Because his sprint mechanics are not necessarily great to run a 100-meter dash, but they are great to be a great soccer player or football player. I guess depending on the country. I'm from the United States, so here we call it soccer. I know other places call it football. But anyway, we'll hop right into the breakdown here. So long ball, Cristiano Ronaldo is up top here. There's another one that we could have done, but this one just has more steps, so I thought it would be the better option. So getting into the breakdown, he's starting to get into his top end speed here. I mean, what he does very, very well is when he pushes off that leg, he has a really nice cycle, right? See how he pushes off of that back leg and he gets that really nice hamstring activation. You can see right there how he contracts with that hamstring and he drives that leg up. And even though he doesn't get great knee extension here, he does a great job of getting to that position. So he keeps that heel to his butt. See how he does that right there, or how his heel is really close up to his hamstring here? That is a key point of his key part of him being able to create that speed, because he has that range to drive and continue that drive, keeping that heel up, and then bring his knee through while maintaining that heel in a good position, and then he extends right out. Okay, then he does the same thing here with that left leg. So see how he's able to push off, keeps that heel pretty close. I think he get a little bit too far back behind him. He lets those legs get too far back behind him, but it makes it so his center of gravity stays underneath him a little bit better. So that's one of the key concepts to understand, is what makes him a really good soccer player is that he doesn't need to get as much into hip flexion and knee extension. His knee extension goes really straight down into the ground instead of really focusing on driving straight up. So he's more of like a horizontal type of runner. Yeah, he does create really good vertical force, but you can see that he's going to get a lot more out of this in terms of speed, or why it works for him, his mechanics work for him, is because he has to be able to move side to side. He has to be able to keep his legs underneath him a little bit better, and so he really reaches back and then uses that momentum from his leg being back behind him to drive the knee through, and then just goes right into extension from there. Okay, so what that means is that makes it so when he lands, he's going to be in a better position to move side to side easier. Okay, a lot of times if you allowed that leg to get so far back behind you, you wouldn't be able to get that same type of extension down. See, he still gets knee extension, he just doesn't get it out in front of him like we do in a lot, or like we see in a lot of sprinters. So he doesn't have his weight as far kind of back or as far upright. We can even see it. His weight's more forward, and this makes it so, again, his weight's a little bit more underneath him. He has a little bit better center of mass, which makes it so when he gets to the end here, he can go and decelerate really quickly. Okay, you can see how as soon as he needs to decelerate, he leans back with his spine, and now he sits back with that butt, and he gets into quick hip flexion really quickly, knee flexion really quickly, and that makes it so he's able to decelerate really well. But when he's sprinting, you can see how his spine's really far forward. Again, he's getting good knee extension, but he's keeping those legs underneath him in each one of his steps. Now, one of the things that I also thought was interesting is we know that he has an interesting arm swing. Okay, and so what that means is, he's very straight and he's moving very side to side in his arms. Now, what that does for him is that makes it so he has to engage his core. Okay, so because he has such a violent arm swing, he's making it so his spine is trying to rotate a ton side to side, but it's not rotating a ton side to side. He does a very good job of stabilizing and keeping an upright thoracic spine, right? So he has a slight forward lean in the entire spine, but in the mid section, his thoracic spine, he's very extended, which is what you want to be able to achieve when you're sprinting, and that means he has great mobility in that mid spine. Even though he is using a lot of his arms. So he has to use his core a lot in order to allow that process to happen. So let me go through that all again. I know that was very scientific, very, very specific. So first, he has really good spine extension, or T-spine extension. That mid-back is able to stay upright very well. Now, with that, he is very straight in his arms, and he's also very side-to-side in his arms, which is what creates rotation in the spine. Now, even though he's putting a large degree of rotational force in his body, his spine does not move a lot rotationally. He is very stable in his spine. What is preventing that is a large amount of core activation. So because his core is so strong and his abs are so strong and everything like that is so strong, he is able to sprint at the speed that he does and have kind of the funky arm swing that he does. And it's a combination of those two things. It's the combination of having the ability to create all that rotational force and maintain stability within the core, and be able to push his legs back like how he does and get those legs back underneath him, and still be able to get that knee extension in his legs and keep that center of gravity underneath him. Okay, so those are the two key things that makes Cristiano Ronaldo the guy that he is, and has the speed that he does, but can still move very well side to side. Okay, that's a interesting analysis for me as well, just because I'm a lot when you look at the top 100-meter sprinters, when they're coming through here, it's all about getting that knee all the way up and then extending out to make it so you're getting a longer stride length. Now, when it comes to working with athletes that move more side to side, American football, American soccer, basketball, now this shows that what you have to do is you have to do a better job of keeping those knees underneath you and not letting that foot get too far out in front of you. You got to be able to keep that foot kind of right underneath you and in order to move side to side effectively. Okay, that's going to be a very important point for all the guys that are watching this that are more into sports that, like what I said, basketball, football, tennis, all those things. You need to be able to keep your feet underneath you, and if you need to use force, you got to get force by being able to really push off and get those hamstrings involved, get those glutes involved, and then also have great rotational core stabilization. And we work that a ton here at the Performance Lab in a lot of the exercises that we do. So it just reiterates that, but I even think we could probably do more. After watching this video, it's like, okay, we need to really, really, really focus on being able to have great rotational core stabilization while maintaining thoracic spine extension in order to, better allow our athletes to succeed. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching these videos. We really appreciate all your support. Continue to send in the recommendations for different videos. I'm trying to keep up with all the different requests and making the videos. I think this one's going to be very, very interesting. Looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, looking at a soccer player, seeing how we're able to apply the same ideologies, the same biomechanics in how a sprinter or how a soccer player is able to run extremely fast but still be very successful in his sport and be able to move side to side as well as he does. So again, thanks for watching these videos, guys, and we will see you soon.